Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new resin. A resin I have been itching to try. This is Mould resin here in the UK. They sent me this via Abby from Lady Boss Stitch via Makers Central. So it took a bit of a route to get to me, but Mould did send this to me to play with. I am not affiliated. This is not sponsored. They simply sent this to me to have a test of it, play around with it, see what I think of it, and I've already given them my feedback, and guys, I love it. Again, not an ambassador, not affiliated, but here we are. The instruction manual, so easy to follow. Like, there's something so aesthetic about having everything in really clear instructional boxes, really easy to follow. Now, the best thing for me was seeing this. Use a respirator. Use a respirator. I love seeing a resin brand make it clear that we need respirators when we are using resin. Most resins on the market now will say no VOCs, non-toxic, but you have to realize that that only matters when they're cured. They are non-toxic once cured. If you're using heat with resin, if you're using torches, lighters, all of that, you need a respirator. Okay, so first up, big win, big thumbs up for Mould for putting that directly in their instruction manual. Now, this is a 1 litre kit. This is part A, part B, 1:1, which I love. For me, when I first started using resin, I used a 2:1, but then I found 1:1s so much easier for that beginner because you just can't go wrong. Now, I was tipping the bottles back and forth here just to show you A, how crystal clear this resin appeared, but B, the fluidity of it, you know, the viscosity. It seemed like quite a fluid resin for me. So yeah, first up, gloves on. Gloves. Now, the gloves I use, I have had a couple of people ask me. They are nitrile. I prefer nitrile. Nitrile gloves are most recommended with epoxy resin. And of course, my respirator is the GVS Ellipse Half Mask from Screwfix Direct. Get it on. It's on my face. We are going back to the manual. Now, I do read through the whole manual and it basically says 1:1 by volume, which is absolutely perfect. This is when you need those calibrated cups. They're perfect for your 1:1 by volume. You simply pour part A up to a number and then double that number with part B. Really easy to use. But guys, I got a bit of ahead of myself because actually what I really needed to do was cut out my vinyl Cricut inserts before I start mixing resin. So yes, the gloves did come off. I could have rearranged the film to make it look like it was flawless, but it wasn't flawless. So if you remember a couple weeks ago, I think it was last week. Yeah, last week I made those tiny, gorgeous in my eyes key rings with that was my very first Summerween video. And I tell you now, I fell so in love with those key rings, with all of those witchy UV resin hack inserts, that I wanted to go bigger. I wanted to make coasters from that kind of same design. So pretty much what I'm doing here is making a larger version of those key rings, but using a completely brand new resin and doing a couple of things different, couple of things the same. But again, all of these designs, all of these Cricut vinyl designs are on the Cricut system. Now, first up, I'm using Teckwrap Craft Vinyl. Oh my gosh, another level. So much easier for me to weed Teckwrap Craft Vinyl than it is to weed Cricut Vinyl. Me and Cricut Vinyl, we are not friends. Now, I am using the UV resin hack here. You do not need to. These coasters are flat, really easy to just cut your Cricut vinyl at the end and stick it on the surface once you've demolded. But I didn't want to have to top coat, so I figured I would do this and put them in. I have not yet received my acetate, so again, I'm a bit ahead in videos. So timeline wise, my acetate at this point of voiceover has not arrived. So I am doing the UV resin hack with the Cricut vinyl. This creates inserts that I can lay down in my resin. I was a bit concerned about these. They were bending because they're so big. I also didn't know if this UV resin hack would work with much bigger pieces. Now, at this point, I'm happy. At this point, it's a bit fiddly though to remove them from the backing sheet of the vinyl. Nothing like small. Like the key rings, it was all much smaller, intricate, detailed Cricut wording. They all came off in seconds. Whereas these, did I give up? I absolutely did, yes. I gave up in the end. 2 of them were really, really testing me. I couldn't get the UV resin to stick. So hindsight, I wouldn't do this again. I wouldn't use the UV resin hack on much larger wording like this. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay, back to the brand new resin. I was so excited to try this, honestly. I actually had my resin bottles sitting in my window, soaking up the sun and heating them up. Just lovely. It worked a dream, giving me minimal bubbles, but I've never used this resin, so I actually don't know if it's quite bubbly. If, you know, of course, every resin is going to get bubbles if you stir too fast. So stirring slowly for 5 minutes, and once I've stirred and I've scraped the edge of the cup and I've done all of the things to make sure that part A and part B were measured absolutely accurately. That's also important. I did throw it in my bubble remover machine, and this is me. You can kind of see me multitasking here. Go me. Stirring the resin with one hand and reading through the manual with my other hand. I wanted to check the work time, like how much time do I have? And guys, it's long. It's like 30-40 minute work time. Really long for a 2-part AB epoxy. So loving that. Now the mold I'm using is this new coaster mold. I've not used this before on my channel. I have filmed a video using this. I just haven't launched the video. But yeah, first time using it on my channel. This is the round coaster mold by Moulds and Shapes, and your code is below. Measuring 10.5 centimeters on the outer edge and 9.5 centimeters on the inner edge, because it has this various level dipped edge. Loving it. I will of course link it below alongside your discount code if you are interested in this. But yeah, this is what we're going to use to make those key rings extra large. We are mixing up our miniature key rings. Now at this point the resin is crystal clear. It has been mixed thoroughly. It has been through the bubble remover machine. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that many bubbles in it. Like, it wasn't as fizzy as some other resins because I did stir really slowly on this one. Like, usually I just stir like crazy and then throw it in my bubble remover. So yeah, again, like I said earlier on in the video, that UV resin hack where you put the UV resin down over your Cricut vinyl, you don't really need that. You do not need to do that for this video. Laying your Cricut vinyl down on the end product is gonna work. Probably better because we will get into it. But yeah, just making sure that all of those 90-degree edges do not have any bubbles. I'm using a cocktail stick very, very gently. You don't want to scratch your M&S molds. Moulds and Shapes molds are elite, but you don't want to go digging around in there with anything sharp. So gently, gently, gently in and around, just kissing that inner 90-degree edge to make sure that I don't get any solid chunks out of the resin when it cures. And then it's time to lay down our UV resin hack inserts. And again, if you are new here, a couple weeks ago I did a video on this and it was all inspired by Nicole. Nicole's channel is called Seriously Creative. I learned this from her. I don't know if this was hers, but she did a video on it years and years and years and years ago. And yeah, I just recently found that video. So again, this is all Nicole. This is not my hack. But wow, is it amazing. This is really only useful if you're putting things in backwards and upside down like this. You know, if you don't have a foiling machine, if you don't have a acetate, if you don't have a printer to acetate and print your own words. Otherwise, honestly, I would just go onto Etsy and get somebody to make me a sheet of word inserts. Now, again, my acetate has not arrived at this point, so hopefully within the next couple of weeks I'll have a video out on using your inkjet printer with your acetate sheets. I just still haven't received my acetate yet, but these are working really, really well so far. Now, at this stage, I cannot see any of that UV resin outline. Like, I can't see it. They have disappeared. I am really, really happy. However, there are a couple of areas, A, where I struggled to peel it back, and B, one of them is really obvious. This one here, Stay Spooky. Like, this is the one that was getting really, like, it was bending under the UV light. I was trying to hold them all flat, but it was bending up. So you can definitely see that edge. So I was a bit nervous and I poured extra resin over the top of it. Now, at this point, the resin is still wet. It's still liquid. This is seconds later. I'm going for it. I want all of the sparkles. You could at this point just fill the backs with glitter fully, like put glitter in your resin and back them. But I want to do what I did with the key rings because I love that aesthetic, and I'm just sprinkling on some moons and stars. Now, the moons and stars sequins that I'm using here are from Hemway. However, I do know that Yvonne over on Facebook, Resin Supplies Den, she also sells the same moons and stars. So wherever you get them from, moons and stars just work so beautifully with this witchy vibe, with this Halloweeny, Summerween vibe. So next up, we're going to be using this one from Yvonne at Resin Supplies Den. It's a gorgeous one. It's like got purples and pink hues, very holographic, very chameleon, very much in keeping with the color scheme and the aesthetic I'm going for. And finally, we're using a glitter that was named after me. This glitter is literally called Claire, and it's a combination of all of the most beautiful blues, because blue is my favorite color. We've got very icy blues in here alongside some gorgeous kind of ocean vibes as well, and I'm just going to go all around the outside of these. Now you can already see at this point resin navigates towards the center of a mold. So if you are brand new to resin, and I know I've had so many comments from you guys lately who are brand new to my channel, brand new to resin, only just starting out, if you've got a mold like this and you put anything in it, it will get dragged. It will navigate towards the center of the mold. And I could see it happening. However, the movement wasn't vicious. It wasn't like crazy fast. So I just took that Claire glitter and I went back around the outer edges because I figured by this time the movement would have slowed down and I'm still going to get some glitter all the way to the edges. Now this is 24 hours later. You can see some of that glitter has moved, but I've still got really good scattering of it and it is pretty much all over. We're going with the same colors that we went with in the key rings. And that is the pink, the blue and the purple, because I'm just on this right now. I'm on this pink, blue and purple journey with glitter. I don't know if I'm trying to relive my youth. I don't know if I'm trying to revisit the early 90s. I don't know, okay? Yeah, but it all works. It all works so well together. And plus this is Summerween, not Halloween, you know? Come Halloween, I'll be on a much darker path, trust me. I'll be in the blacks and the purples and the gorgeous chameleons. But yeah, it's summer and all of these pretty glitters and all of these beautiful pinks, blues and purples work so well together. I already knew at this point I didn't want to do it like this. I didn't want pink in the middle and blue around the outside. I was rapidly running out of resin. Again, it's one way or the other, guys. One way or the other. I don't do it right. I either make way too much, enough for 50 molds, or I do not make enough, and then at the end I have to whip up a little batch just to fill the rest of these molds. And I knew at this point I just needed to whip up like 10-20 grams more resin, and that is what I did, and I got them all filled up and I was happy because I like them full. I like them looking juicy. I like a little bit of a dome at the end. That is because resin shrinks back, so the next day when we demold you can see the navigation to the center. It is unreal. They look like something, but I'm not going to go there. And this one here that just had purple, love it. I don't know why I get Wendy vibes. I get Wendy from Toonpish Crafts vibes with this one. She is our purple queen and I love it. It was immediately apparent to me that the UV resin hack, it's not the one. It's definitely not the one to use on much larger writing like this in much bigger molds. I could see the edges, not on all of them, granted, like I really had to get it right up against my eyes to be able to see the edges. Most of them I could not see the edges, but I'd pressed them down into the resin. So when I laid them down into the resin, I really pressed them down to touch the bottom of the mould. I really shouldn't have done that. They've literally touched the silicone mould, and you can see some of that texture coming through the surfaces. So at this point, I know these need a top coat. So it defeats the whole entire purpose of doing the UV resin hack. Just demold and stick your vinyl on top. But you know, we all live and learn, and this is all what it's about. And whatever I can do better next time, I will tell you. What I want to do differently next time, I will tell you. Tell me why. I love this so much. I don't know, again, if it's just the wording. I don't know if it's because it's calligraphy. I do love a calligraphy font, but I mean, I'm not a bad witch. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I identify as a bad witch. This is my favourite, and I'm pretty sure this was my favourite on the keyrings as well. So I think it's a combination of the calligraphy with the black vinyl stars around it and all of it. Everything about that one, my absolute favourite. This one was the worst one. You can see so much damage. The S hasn't stuck in right. You can see the edge of the UV resin. Yeah, it needs a top coat. Again, the top coat will make all our problems go away, and it will make the world a happy place again. Do you know what I mean, guys? I just gutted, really. Honestly, it's one of those things I wanted to try. You know, will it work with bigger chunks of vinyl? It does work. Is it worth it? No, not in my opinion. I wouldn't do this again. Again, learning from my mistakes, just don't. Printing it off on acetate could work for you guys, and using your foiling machines could work for you guys. This one here was so obvious. And again, this is because I pushed them right down. I pushed them right down in the resin to get the resin to come up and over them, which meant I pushed them down into the silicone, which is not really what you want to do. Bad Witch, whilst you can see a line, is still my favourite, but they are definitely so much more visible than they were in the keyrings. Like, for me, I could not see that resin edge in the keyrings, whereas some of you said you can clearly see it, and I'm like, I need to go back and get my eyes tested. But yeah, as for the resin, oh my gosh, love it. Absolutely love it. Really, really easy to use. 1-to-1 by volume. Mix for 5 minutes and pour. And honestly, love it. Absolutely love it. I will be using this resin again. I love that it's from the UK. So yeah, all of it, everything about it, I love it. Now, I love the coasters as well. Despite, you know, wasting my time on the UV resin hack, they're just too big for it. They're too big for it. I'll definitely use that hack again for smaller things, but I just wouldn't do it again for this. I love the results. I am in my blue, pink, purple and glitter era, and I hope you are enjoying it too. And yeah, I hope you feel inspired. Definitely check out Mould Resin. Again, not affiliated. I'm not an ambassador. I am not sponsored. I am not being paid for this video. They simply sent me some to play with. I love it. I hope you guys love it too. I will leave their website down below, but again, not affiliated. So that's all the information I can give you, other than the fact that I personally love it. I'm not being paid for my opinion. I really want that to be put out there. You get me? You get me? I will speak to you all in the next video. Bye.